That's the center line of the fuselage.
Yeah, I want to say it was almost on that angle. If you could have drawn a line from the fuselage, it was probably right about there.
Okay.
So that would put, I don't know where where that would put the wingtip, but the first thing I did was I kind of flinched. And ducked into my car. And at the time, I mean, I don't know if it was a reaction, like a fear or whatever, but I ended up in my car because I called it in on the radio before I even left here. I mean, not even seconds elapsed, and I called it in on the radio.
At that point, were you hearing it?
Well, yeah, you hear it after it passed me.
So you didn't hear it until it passed you?
Well, no, I mean, the speed it was going, again, the Doppler effect. I mean, you're not gonna hear a plane traveling at that speed before it gets to you.
Okay, so basically, I mean, I think in your exchange with Dick Eastman, you mentioned that the plane came over the Navy Annex.
From that direction.
Okay.
I mean, that's what the assumption I would make.
So it wasn't directly over the Navy Annex, as far as you could tell.
Don't know.
You didn't see.
It came, like I said, it came from that direction. The biggest problem is, I mean, I know how a plane maneuvers. There's no way that thing was off that heading by much before it got to here at that speed. So that's what I based my assessment on. Did it fly right over the Navy Annex? Did it have a wing over the Navy Annex? Did it almost hit the hotel? Those, I don't know, because I didn't see it.
Okay, but as far as you can tell for sure, because that stone fence that we just zoomed in on over there is the fence to the Arlington National Cemetery. Yes. And as far as you could tell, the fuselage was over that.
Yeah, I mean, best guess estimate, that's about where the fuselage was.
And how high was it at that time?
About 150 feet AGL, above ground level.
Okay, and kind of in a...
Well, I mean, I don't know, you're here, so you can get a pretty good perspective. If I'm standing at my car door, the roof is here. So if it was really high, it's going to be obstructed. If it was really low, it's going to be blocked by those trees, or going to hit those trees. So if you draw a line from the tallest trees over there and kind of slope it down to the Pentagon, you can kind of figure it out for yourself. It had to be between there, and it had to hit the Pentagon. So I would say about between 100 and 150 feet AGL. So.
Okay. Were you driving a car just like this, a plain white unmarked police car?
Exactly like it.
Exactly like that. And have you seen the release of the Citgo security video?
No.
Okay, because you can see your car in there, and from what you recall, after you saw the plane. Well, first off, let me ask you: did you see the plane hit the building?
Yes. Did I see what the plane did? No, because there's a big fireball. When the plane hit, it just kind of disappeared. Like I said, it made that little yaw movement, and then it just disappeared.
Did you see the plane pick up at all, maybe to make it over anything before it went back down again?
No.
You didn't see it pick up at all? Okay.
No.
Did you see it hit any light poles?
Did not see them hit the light poles, but obviously when I got to the scene, the light poles are down. You know, as fast as it was going, you can barely see the light poles from here. You know, I mean, if you look, they're the same color as the building almost. They're almost invisible. So the light poles that were struck were the ones on 27. You can clearly see the ones that are on the off ramps, but you can't see the ones that are on 27 except for the very top.
Light pole 1 is right there. Okay, Sergeant Lagasse, I hope there wasn't too much trouble over there.
Yeah.
I just have a couple more questions for you. At what point did you see the window shades pulled down, as you said in your ABC interview?
Right when I looked at it.
Right when you looked at it.
I mean,
now, how long was the period from when you first saw the plane as to when it impacted the Pentagon?
I mean, it's right there. I'm looking at it that fast. I mean, probably half a second. I mean,
half a second?
Well, look, I mean, it's here. 1001, 1000, maybe a second and a half. That's here to there. I mean, it's going as fast. If my hand's here in the aircraft, it's going that quick.
Right.
So it's not, you know, I saw it for about as long as I guess I could have seen it. Maybe a second at the most.
But you were still able to make it out. How soon were you able to make it out that it was American Airlines?
Instantly.
Instantly. So.
I mean, that's like I was saying. American Airlines is the only polished aluminum, airline with the blue and red stripe, the big AA on the back. I mean, it wasn't. I've seen enough of them. I've been around aircraft my whole time, my whole life basically. Just immediately. Because if I'm not mistaken, and I haven't heard this, I've never been privy to hear it, but I broadcast that an American airliner just went into the building. Now, I've never heard those tapes. I think those tapes were used in the Saudi trial, so they haven't been released. But that's what I broadcast, if I remember correctly, because I did it right after the plane hit the building.
All right, now how sure are you that the plane was to the north, coming from the north side of the Navy Annex? You're saying it was pretty much between the Navy Annex and Arlington Cemetery? Yeah. How certain are you of that?
100%. Bet my life on it. 100%. Bet my life on it.
Okay. Okay. Sergeant Lagasse, there's an incredible account. I think this is going to clear up a lot of things for a lot of people.
I hope. I'm just, it's kind of like this. You can take all the data that we've given, and there's only one thing that's irrefutable that isn't me guesstimating. The fact is, American Airlines plane went from here into the building. That's it. I mean, you can pick apart everything else because I don't have specifics on speed and altitude. They're our best guess estimates. I have no reason to lie. I have no reason to deceive anybody.
How soon after you saw the plane fly over did you take off?
Oh, I had to be down there in a few seconds.
So what did you do? Did you just kind of pull forward, or did you back up?
I threw the gas thing out of my car, hung it up, got in the car, and went. As a matter of fact, I don't think I was this far forward. I was probably further back.
Okay.
So
do you think perhaps do you think that perhaps you might have even been at this pump back here?
I could have been.
Okay.
Because the more I think about it, this is the first time I've ever done an interview.
Right.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I really think I might have been back.
You've been back on that one.
I might have been back at that one.
Okay.
The reason I say that is because when I left, I might have backed out. I don't think I drove forward.
Okay, and the reason I'm asking you this is because you can see in the security video that your car was parked there and that you backed out and peeled off. So,
I've never
Sure.
thought about that until just then.
Sure.
It's because I remember I didn't go forward.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first time I ever thought about it.
What I was trying to do really is just establish whether or not that was for sure you in the Sitco and in the security video that was just recently released, and that establishes it
first time
for certain.
I ever thought of it, because nobody ever asked me.
Now, from the other points I noticed from the video is that you pulled up and walked over to an SUV parked right over there and talked to somebody.
Yeah, it was. I think it was ERT guys.
ERT guys.
SWAT guys.
SWAT guys. So they were already over there.
Well, no, they were there, I guess, doing whatever.
Yeah, just getting something.
Yeah.
And but the plane hadn't flown over yet.
No.
When you were talking to them, it didn't fly over to you. Came back, started fueling up your car. And
you know what? That is the first time I've actually had that recollection. That's where I parked my car. Because nobody's ever asked me.
Sure. Yeah. No, it was 5 years ago, so that's understandable.
When you said, "Did you back up?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think I did."
Now you can see you back up and then you peel out really fast.
No kidding. That's pretty cool. Well, it's just nice to, I don't know.
So when you went and talked to the SWAT guys, you weren't talking about the plane because it hadn't fly over yet.
What I think I told them was something around the fact that you guys see the tapes from New York.
Ah.
Because I had just left the building. We were, I was in what was our deputy chief's office, was an admin office, and we were watching the television of, yeah, creepy. but watching the television footage in New York.
Sure. So when you saw the plane, you knew instantly what was going on, huh?
It's still pretty surreal when you think about it. I mean, I'm just kind of, that's the clarity now that day is coming back a lot more. I mean.
Okay, so now that it came back more, is there anything you told me that you think you might have just deduced?
No, I mean, like I said, the things that aren't up for grabs, the plane was there, went into the building.
The plane was far to the north side of the station, did not pass over the station.
Yeah, it's not like there was the shadow of a wingtip going over here. It was far enough out that I could see it, because the one thing that made me realize what kind of plane it was being able to see both engines, so it wasn't obscured at all.
Oh, that reminds me. There are reports that a C-130, just like this one right here, was shadowing the plane.
Didn't see it.
You didn't see any other
Never
plane?
saw it. I mean, obviously I know it was in the area because I've read enough reports. I never saw it.
Okay. Okay, I forgot to get you to draw where you saw the flight path coming.
You're on. Well, that's from a documentary, people, called the PENTa CON, and you can go to www.thepentacon.com and you can see this and buy this whole video. We only played a part of it. This is a shot of the video here on camera 1. This is the PENTaCon on camera 1 here, I think. Go over to, there it is. And this, you want to get your own copy. There's a lot more to this documentary. This taxi cab, it's got a phone number. That phone number's long been turned off. And they got an interview with this taxi cab. That whole scene that supposedly the plane clipped those light fixtures, that was set up on the 10th of September. And they did those photos and all that set up the day before 9/11. This was a planned, executed, fake attack. Yeah, people really died, but it wasn't Islamics. I want to read you some of the names. This is from the Flag of the Heroes. These are the firefighters. You firefighters watching in your fire stations ought to pay close attention, because over 300 of your buddies died because the government, George W. Bush, Dick Cheney, and them lied. Here, there's Lieutenant Kenneth Phelan, Battalion 43, Lieutenant Geoffrey Guija, Battalion 47, Lieutenant Anthony Jovic, there's Lieutenant Gregory Atlas, firefighter Jeffrey Olson, firefighter Paul Passini, firefighter Robert McFadden, firefighter James Papa George, firefighter Hector Turadio Jr., firefighter Robert Evans. This whole flag is just the firefighters, over 300 of them that died on 9/11. 300 of them. Battalion 13, Lieutenant Brian Ahern, Joseph Markbanks Jr., Chief Fred Sheffold, Battalion Chief Thomas Haskell Jr., Captain Martin Egan Jr., Captain William O'Keefe, Engine 1, Lieutenant Andrew Desperito, firefighter Manuel Del Valle, Engine 6, firefighter Paul Bayer, firefighter Thomas Holohan, firefighter Robert Johnson, firefighter Martin. These are just some of the 350-some firefighters that died on 9/11 because an inside job with our puppet president, George W. Bush, doing just what the bank gangsters wanted to do, blame Islamics. Well, the Islamics could not have set up this fake photo shoot that was used with a taxi, and they've got this guy, this taxi driver, on tape. It's on here, saying, yeah, they paid me a lot of money. They got me a new car. I got a new fishing boat.